Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Dash Rose here. I'm back with another news-related video. I literally have said that I don't have a lot to talk about with news-related videos, and then I keep having a bunch pop up that I actually have things to talk about. This one's actually about Walmart this time. Now, to be fair, I guess this one technically was on the bucket list because I was going to talk about Walmart's attempt to once again remodel their stores because, yeah, they're going to be doing that. They're going to be remodeling their stores again, for I don't know how many of time, But, something else apparently came up, and I'm going to be talking about that in this video and my thoughts on it. If you guys haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you guys are still subscribed. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram, /Threads and X and all that. And, I don't think there's really much else I have to say. So actually, let's go ahead and get into this. So, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into this. So, this video may not be super long, I don't know, but to be fair, I probably need to be going to bed here soon, but, I was trying to work on making some more videos for you guys, because I actually want to get back to showing off some glitches, but I don't think I'm going to get to that, tomorrow, because, it's going to be kind of chaotic right now, But I'll probably talk more about that stuff later in maybe a separate video, because I do that more on my channel updates, which I've been making a lot more of those lately too, and I kind of don't really want to make them all the time, but I feel like posting the stuff on my channel, I don't feel like I want to do that, because if I have a lot to say, I kind of want to keep it separate, so I'll probably do that, but it's just kind of to help you guys, because I know people get upset with YouTubers when they don't, keep people up to date, so I want to make sure I don't do that. But, things are just kind of crazy right now. But I probably won't make the video quite yet, because I don't know what's going on, but I might do that. Because it might interfere with my videos a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. But anywho, I was going to talk about Walmart here. So, as you guys see, this is a picture of people at Walmart. So, apparently, I guess Walmart is, going back to the older clothing. Their older jackets. They're going back to those, which really caught me off guard, because Walmart kind of, has been shipping away from what it used to be and kind of doing its own thing and all that. And I'm not going to lie, this kind of goes in with the whole remodeling Walmart stuff. And, people have complained about Walmart, like, getting rid of their older logo. They don't care for the star logo much, and then the smiley face has kind of disappeared on the uniforms and all that, people have complained about that, and whatnot, and a lot of complaints. I actually don't mind the Walmart logo. I don't like, the new one. I like the old one too, but I don't mind the new one. I don't like, the new one. I hate that they shrunk the freaking sign down, and it's like in a freaking small ass box on the buildings. I liked it when it was spread across, the entire building, because it looks so freaking small. Like, it makes the outside look empty, I'm not sure why they did that. I don't know if it was easier to take it off there or something that way. I don't know. It just looks kind of weird that way. But I don't mind the little circle symbol logo much. I don't mind it. But I like the old one too, with the little star in the middle. And some of them, like this one you see here, has a little line across it, saying wall and then Mart. So, yeah, there's that. But apparently, Walmart is starting to kind of bring some of this stuff back because the employees are now starting to they're bringing back the older outfits, and now they're going to have smiley faces on them again. Which I think they need to bring back the smiley faces, I mean, if they want to keep the new logo, that's fine, but the smiley faces, those need to kind of stay. Those were very unique and all that in a way. They were very unique. And seeing them take them away kind of sucks, it kind of took away from it a little bit, I kind of liked having the smiley faces and all that on the uniforms, and all that, it was just nice, and all that. Also, another thing is too, another thing I will say could be nice is to have Walmart have, apparently back then they had, like, I didn't know about this, maybe I just didn't pay close attention, to it, because a lot of times I go to Walmart, I would go to, like, McDonald's, or I would go to, because Walmart used to have McDonald's, or I would go to, I would go to McDonald's, or I would go to, my dad would go grocery shopping there, and I would go with him, because he would always shop at Walmart. He would say he always hates going to Walmart, but then I'm like, you could go somewhere else and get groceries, and all that, like, you don't have to go to Walmart. Of course, now he's going to Mosher's, which Mosher's, honestly, when it comes to pricing, is kind of worse. I will say, it's not as chaotic as Walmart is, I will say that, but the pricing's kind of more expensive than Walmart when it comes to groceries. So he'd probably be saving money going somewhere else, but he always does this. He always makes excuses of this or that, of why, he does this or that. Honestly, he's very stubborn. He is very freaking stubborn. And that's kind of what happened, with, I talked about my dog and all that, and why it's taking me so long to get a freaking job, because people aren't hiring as well on the weekends, but they're not hiring as well on the weekends. I mean, now they're starting, now I'm at my mom's and all that, and I'm here during the week, I can actually get a job during the weekdays easier, Because I'm like, even getting transportation, they would bitch about the dog and all that, but I honestly told you guys I thought about taking him to court to fight this crap, because I'm like, it wasn't fair and all that, but, I'm glad it's kind of passed. But my dad's always been stubborn with crap, and it's a kind of annoying at times to deal with, but I don't know. But yeah, he basically, sometimes we would come out of Walmart, though, and have, like, 3 carts of groceries, sometimes 4. Like, he would get a crap ton of food, he would. I'm kind of thinking, like, how did he fit all that food in there in the past, but he doesn't really like going out a lot, so he just gets everything at once, so, I mean, I don't mind going to the store, but, but that's just me, but that's what he would do, and it was crazy. So, yeah, a lot of history at Walmart, but, I will say this, though, Walmart, I don't know, I kind of liked Target over Walmart, always. I liked Target more. Target, I kind of had more of a better vibe. Now, Target kind of has declined a bit, too, in things. Like, Target is, I don't like that they don't have their neon lights anymore, and all that, but they definitely seem to be, the staff there seem to be more friendly, and at least where I go, they're more friendly and more organized. Their floors also don't look beat up. Walmart, a lot of the times their floors have cracks in it, and they look beat up. Like, it's pretty bad. Even their freaking parking lot, God, it is horrible. I mean, I guess to be fair, a lot of parking lots aren't, great. Sometimes I wonder where the taxpayer money goes, I'm like, isn't that supposed to help fix that stuff, I mean, you could be like, they don't fix that stuff, that's the stores and all that, but shouldn't the taxpayer money help the stores fix this kind of stuff too, I'm like, I don't know, there's some Because even in the highways aren't always great. A lot of times they have cracks on the floor on the highways too. Yeah, not always. I mean, they do keep up with them, better than the parking lots, but they still don't look great. But I can tell you, going inside a store like Walmart, especially the one in Jeff, yeah, the floors and the inside are cracked, and that's on Walmart. That's on Walmart. But yeah, I'm just saying there's some weird stuff going on there. But again, I don't want to get into politics. I'm just saying that's kind of one of those things that people say, you're supposed to be paying for that, but it doesn't feel like it does if they're not actually doing anything to fix it. You know. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I always kind of liked Target more than Walmart. Now from Walmart to Kmart, Kmart I can't say a lot about because Kmart, there was the one in Jeff which I really liked, but I didn't have as much experience with Kmart because Kmart they shut Kmart down. Most of the locations around my area were closed. Nearby because Kmart was struggling. But the one in Jeff wasn't too bad, but I guess I could say out of all three of them, because they were like very close to each other, I would say, I don't know, Kmart was a little bit more pricey, but Kmart was kind of like, it also had a vibe to it, but I don't know, I think I would say Walmart was a bit better around that time, but Walmart was definitely declining around that time, and I kind of wish it were Walmart that kind of shut down around that area instead of Kmart, but Kmart also, went bankrupt and all that, and they pretty much closed all the U.S. locations down, But yeah. But I will say, I say, I definitely don't completely hate Walmart like other people, but I definitely have lost interest in the store because of these changes. But the fact that they are bringing back the uniforms is definitely, I think, a good sign, because, bringing back the uniforms is nice. Our store, in Fulton has been remodeled recently. I probably shouldn't give away my location, in a way, but I feel like people can track you anyway, but, we have a Walmart in Fulton, and they actually have, they didn't do a lot of remodeling, but they did apparently change out the cash registers. And I was like, I was thinking they were probably going to remodel it, like they were talking about doing other places, because apparently Walmart is going and, they're starting, like I told you guys, the remodeling, they're going to be remodeling not just that stuff, they're going to be remodeling a bunch of other stuff too, so I was like, why are they remodeling, the cash registers but not taking the signs out and all? Because the signs are going to get remodeled too. Now, from what I can gather, the signs are going to be darker. They're going to be thicker. I don't think the star is going to return. I don't think the star logo is going to return, but I think they're going to actually remodel the stores, and get rid of the sign, and change it out. From what I can gather, I knew they were making it thicker, but I didn't know they were actually going to change it. But if they're gonna do this, they need to like make it back to where like it's all the way out, across the entire front of the building, because it looks so much better that way, I mean, I appreciate the, experimenting and all of that kind of stuff, but it's kind of like Ollie's, or not Ollie's, I'm sorry, Aldi's, there's a store called Ollie's too, that sounds very similar, but no, it's Aldi's. They actually opened one of those up too, where we're at too, recently, in the last, I think, a couple years it's been open now. This is the second year, I think, it's been open. Because it opened last year. I think it was last year in February. I can't remember. It opened. But it has also that very small looking sign, to be fair though, the buildings are also smaller, so it doesn't look as bad. But even like places like Goodwill did that too. Goodwill shrunk their signs down too, but also, again, Goodwill is a smaller looking building. I mean, it still doesn't look, I think, as great as having it across the building, but it doesn't look as bad. But superstores like Walmart that are a lot bigger, I think they need to have, the stuff across the building, not just in the center, because it doesn't look as good. But I guess, again, that's my opinion, It's kind of like the star. People miss the star and the building, Apparently there are still locations out there that do have the star logo on it, I've heard, in Arkansas and all that. Which is actually where I think Walmart originated from, was in Arkansas. I don't know if the original location's still there, but I do know that's where it originated from, which is really interesting. It originated there. I'm trying to remember where, Kmart originated from, because I looked that up. I think it was in Illinois. So it's kind of weird that these big superstores originated kind of around where I'm at, in Missouri, and all that, which is kind of weird, but, yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of weird, but, I think that's even how McDonald's was, too. McDonald's and, I think even Burger King were like that, too, so it's very weird. It's like, everything was like, all these fancy places people go to, all of them are kind of more in the center of the U.S., and then they spread their things out in other locations, in other states. Which is definitely very weird how it started, but yeah, I don't know. I've just now noticed that, but it is definitely weird. But yeah, I gotta say though, the fact that some of these stores are not getting remodeled, I actually like that. Now sometimes places do gotta get forced to be remodeled because of safety concerns and all that, but it's nice that, when some places stay, original, because that's the problem, like, with some of these places, especially if people don't like them, if you're gonna remodel them, it's best to have some older locations, too, in case people don't like these ones and you have to change it, because otherwise you can end up like McDonald's or something, or a lot of these fast food places, where you remodel too many locations and all that, and people don't want to go there anymore because not only it's too pricey, but also it's just boring now, and that's kind of how people are with Walmart, too. But Walmart, I will say, even in Missouri, not every location has been remodeled to look like the one in Fulton does in Jeff. There's actually a Walmart. This is the new Walmart that was built in Jeff, because there's two of them. I like to call it the new/old Walmart because technically it was built later than the other one. But it looks like an actual it looks older, like it's an older looking Walmart. So it has a different paint color. The logo is a bit different, So that's why I like to call it the new/old Walmart. Now the inside I think has been remodeled a bit, but it is kind of weird, to have it that way. Also for some reason they have the freaking pharmacy in the middle of the store instead of on the side, on the edge. I don't know why that is. Kind of weird. But that's how they did it. That's how they did it. The other one, the old Walmart, I actually don't, I think I was reading that it actually was not originally a Walmart, it was actually originally a different store, because actually looking back at older images, I have some older images, I didn't even know we had, but I remembered this before the ice storm happened. They had different kinds of lights and all that, and then by the time the ice storm happened, they pretty much got rid of all those lights. They kept a couple of them up, but pretty much most of the lights were gone, and then they redid all of that because we had that happen. And yeah, but it looked like it was originally a different it was a different kind of store, because Walmart always, I think, had the long, lights and all that across stuff. Not like Lowe's, because this looked like it had the Lowe's, chandelier lights, the little lamp looking ones. That's what it looked like. So I'm guessing, like I said, I think it was probably a different store, and then Walmart moved into it, But it does look like a Walmart now. Like obviously, I mean, there's not really much of a difference, but back then it looked a lot different. Pretty crazy. But I was trying to think what else I was kind of gonna say. Oh yeah, like I was gonna talk about this. I don't know if what they're exactly remodeling exactly with these stores, because I don't really like, I was trying to find some information, and I found some locations that are being remodeled on the list. Fulton was not on it, and neither was the Jefferson City locations. They were not on that list to be remodeled. They weren't on the list. However, even though they weren't on the list, they were for some reason Fulton's got new cash registers and all that. So I don't know what's going on. It's kind of a weird thing, but the fact that again that they've remodeled these locations multiple times in the last like it hasn't even been 20 years is kind of crazy. Like at this point, I don't even think it's even been 15 years, because I'm trying to think about this. Because Walmart, I think, started, because they swapped out their star logo in, like, I think 2008 or 9. They swapped out their star logo. Yeah, so they did that. And then they started remodeling their stores around that time. And then by, that'd be the first time. And then by, 2016, I think it was, they remodeled them again, but they kept, like they painted up the buildings and all that, and I think they got remodeled again, because they actually redid the logo again. No, wait, the logo that they redid was more in the last few years. I think it was 2017 or 18. They were redoing the floors, and then they redid the sign. Like a couple years later. I don't know. I mean, at least ours was remodeled more, because I've looked on Facebook and saw some photos. At least the one in Jeff. I really didn't look at the photos in the one in because I mean, different locations are gonna have different stuff, but it is definitely very, very weird. Like how many times they've remodeled, and then they're remodeling the stores again for the freaking 5th time. That's actually, it's 5 times they're doing it. It is just crazy. Like, I mean, I wonder how much money they're putting into this, I mean, if it attracts customers, I mean, then, albeit, because I've been hearing Walmart's kind of been declining too in customers. I could say it's Amazon, but honestly, Amazon, I think, is having some problems too. People are people are starting to kind of turn on Amazon a little bit, with some stuff. And honestly, I think, it didn't help really that, it didn't really help, that freaking people were locked in their house from COVID for, like, 2 years. Well, we were out pretty fast, but some states were locked in their houses for months. I mean, I guess 2 years I think that's a little too long. I would say maybe about a year and a half, but 2 years, I don't think it was that long, but like California and all these like states were like locked in their house for a long time, and had to like wear a mask and all that. And some places that you could go out, but only a limited time people could go in. It was pretty bad, and people, I think, just kind of because people were shopping online not before that, but now I think people are realizing that it's not always fun to shop online, and sometimes it's nice to socialize a bit too. And all that, Especially when you're like, let's say I guess jobs are a little bit different, but like if you go to school or something, or a lot of times you probably won't be socializing as much. I mean, you'll be in a classroom with people, but you won't be socializing as much. Because people have said, I pointed this out when I was going to school still, before I graduated and all that. I think in the future there probably won't be a need for school as much, because everything is going to be online, which I still kind of think I'm gonna keep what I said there. But people are saying like they need to socialize, but I'm like, they don't people in like, well, maybe elementary school, but people in middle school and high school don't get to socialize as much because they're just cooped in their house all the time. We're at like work and all that, or going out to buy groceries. You're socializing a bit more, so people get to socialize a bit more. It's a little bit different. But I mean, there are sports and then there's clubs people can go to, but pretty much throughout the entire day, you're just not really doing that. So I'm like, what's the point of really, what's the argument of schools, like I mean, in the future. I mean, right now, I mean, the technology is getting up there, but it's still not powerful enough for that. But I'm like, what would stop people from, especially people having problems with schools, depending on what state you're in, like, what would stop people from wanting to, to do that, when you could just do it all online. But again, I get, people need to socialize, but I'm like, again, like with that compared to going out and buying groceries and stuff, you could just go to like, you can still, attend dances and clubs and stuff. You would just be, doing that more. You would do that kind of stuff, more so like, like outside, well, more so like maybe like certain times of a day, it'd be like going to like church or something, like, or like you could just show up to something like that if you sign up for it, like like a meeting or something like that, like, I don't know, it's definitely kind of crazy how the future could end up going, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think though with, like I said, with online shopping and all that, that's definitely a different story. Like yeah, I think there are people, like, I mean, like myself, I will say, as somebody who can't really drive, online shopping can be useful for me, but I also don't mind getting out too and actually socializing. But yeah, there are times where you can't really socialize depending on, what you're doing, like in school and all that. Like I said, I couldn't socialize a lot because we had the bell and all that, and we had to get to class, I had to get to my class because I didn't want to be tardy, because if you get tardy, you can get in trouble. And then same way with, like the cafeteria, you can talk there, but you have to, like, you have to eat, before, because if you don't eat your food in time, then you have to get back to class. It's like you don't get a lot of time to socialize in school, where in the real world you can do that more, even working somewhere, So it's nice to have these different places. But yeah, I don't know. But I don't know if I have a whole lot else to really say about this stuff with Walmart and then, in general. But I will say, though, I guess, like Amazon, I probably wouldn't just put all your money in, like, one store. I probably would try to, like, I mean, as long as these stores, I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying, like, if you want to make competition, giving other stores a chance could be good too. Because if you don't have competition, these companies will, they'll try to, like, take your money and all that, and they won't listen to you as much if you want something to change, because they don't care, because they don't have any other competition, and that's kind of the thing, but yeah, I don't know. But the fact, again, that we're seeing the uniforms, returning is nice. I will say that. I don't know what else is, like I told you guys, I don't know what else is going on with Walmart. I don't know if they have any plans, besides maybe changing the sign up. I don't know if they're going to repaint the buildings again. I'm not sure what they're doing, but like I told you guys, I don't think it was ever my favorite place to go. I always kind of, I would go there sometimes, like, to buy certain stuff, but a lot of times I would go to, like, back then we had a store called Hastings. I would go there to buy, like, movies or something, or I usually went to other stores to give them, a chance, But yeah, I don't think I have a lot else to really say about this, though. I don't think I do, But it looks like 2025 looks like we might be getting out of the depression. I will say, I think 2020 to 2024, I think was definitely depression times. Now, every I would say probably about 100 to 50 years or so, or something like that. I would say there's been some sort of depression, or actually, I don't even know if I should estimate it like that, but like there definitely throughout history we've had plenty of depression times. I think we as the generation now have gone through quite a bit of depression. Things have been remodeled to be boring. Social media has not been as fun. And I think we're getting to the point where it's kind of become, it's getting to the end here, and I'm glad it's becoming to the end because people don't want to live like this. I mean, we're always gonna have, struggles, we always are, and even back in let's say like World War One and all, when people went through depression, then like our great grandparents went through all of that, it's it sucks, it does, but like I said, people can get through it and all that, and like I said, it's gonna happen at times, but I guess the best thing to do is think positive with these kind of situations when they do happen. When they get bad like this, we can always look to the future. I'm not saying it's always great, but I'm just saying, just looking at the positives, can help too. But even though, like I said, sometimes it's really hard, But, anywho, though, I guess I'll probably go ahead and let this video go. This video actually did turn out to be like 30-something minutes long, but still not super long, but I did have a lot to say. It turns out. But yeah, anywho, though, I'm gonna probably go ahead and let this go. And I probably will try to split these videos up. I did get my other top 10, going here, but I've still got to work on making the video, but I got to have the time to do it, and I've been kind of just busy right now, so I'll get to it. I'm going to work on it probably in the next few days or so. So hopefully the top 10 will be up. And it'll probably be up maybe before this video because I'm trying to spread things out for you guys a little bit. Anywho, see you guys later. Bye-bye.